Hello, I'm looking at episode number 339 of the TEW Challenge Run. This is going to be No Way Out pay-per-view, the final pay-per-view premium live event stop on the road to WrestleMania. And it's SmackDown exclusive, but it is still a big show. We have in the main event Cody Rhodes maybe teaming with Duff. We don't know the status of Dustin Rhodes after SmackDown. But the scheduled match is Cody Rhodes teaming with Dustin Rhodes against Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa. We also have Bayley defending her SmackDown Championship against Kairi Sane, who will have a special enforcer in her corner, as determined by last night's SmackDown as well. We will also have the SmackDown Tag Team Championship on the line. The Usos challenge the Cyclone. We have Warden defending the United States Championship in an open challenge. Cora Jade defending the Women's Liberty title against AJ Lee. We have Hikaru Shida and Liv Morgan defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Toni Storm and Ruby Riott. We have a steel cage match between Big E and Buster Gates. We have Carmelo Hayes taking on Daniel Bryan in the opening match of the show. And we have another match, which is Kevin Owens versus Adam Cole. Baby. And here's last year's No Way Out. We had a Chamber then. Obviously, the Chamber is on Raw in 2 weeks' time this year. We had The Rock in action, team with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins against the Bloodline. Yeah. A lot has changed in 1 year, though. So without any further ado, let's jump straight into No Way Out. Okay, so I just had to check that I had all the segments booked in that I wanted to book in, because there are a lot of important segments I need to get in on this show, you know. We're going to be feeling the WrestleMania spirit when tonight is over, I can promise you that. But, what a way to get into the WrestleMania spirit than with a kickoff match about someone trying to fuck someone's mum. Angel Garza wins in 10:42. He beats Elias with a wing clipper. 79 for Angel Garza, 74 for Elias. A 2-week feud, but it has turned very, very personal. But Garza does pick up the win, putting Elias down with a wing clipper to, I guess, score the victory. And, well, no date with Esther Sampson, because that wasn't the stipulation. Opening segment is the video package, all the big matches tonight, including the tag team main event. We have Kairi and Bayley, we have AJ and Cora, Adam Cole and Kevin Owens, and a whole lot more, which I just went over. But then we kick things off with the Carmelo Hayes Daniel Bryan match, which gets an 85. That could have probably been better, but I don't know, maybe the storyline's not that good. No, apparently the only thing that it got dinged for was consistency. Okay, whatever. But, you know, this thing started building at the Royal Rumble. These two are number 1 and number 2 in the Royal Rumble. Bryan eliminated Hayes, and then Hayes twatted Bryan with a briefcase, allowing Corbin to eliminate him, and he said that Bryan will be the 11th former world champion that Carmelo Hayes will defeat on his quest to become a world champion here in WWE. And it looks like that's going to not come to fruition. You know, Bryan probably gives Trick Williams the big running knee on the outside, and then it's Bryan and Melo one-on-one in the ring. The yes kicks. He backs into the corner. He goes to give the running knee to Carmelo Hayes when outruns Grayson Waller. He gets onto the apron. He takes the running knee instead. And then The Miz sneaks in behind Bryan, hits the Skull Crushing finale while the referee's distracted trying to deal with Waller. And then The Miz slides out as well. And then Carmelo Hayes hits nothing but net to put Bryan down for the 1-2-3 in 19 minutes and 50 seconds. So he does it. Another former world champion slain by Carmelo Hayes, who was really off his game tonight, apparently. 95 for Bryan, 80 for Milo. But yeah, an 85 I guess is fine for the match. I just wanted better because Bryan's in it, you know. But yeah, that's not too shabby. That's a good opening match. We then cut backstage when Candice and Johnny Gargano are arriving to the arena ahead of tonight, you know. They're not scheduled to be here, but, you know, there's a big match that really interests Candice about who she can face at WrestleMania. And as her and Johnny make their way to the ring, I guess Johnny departs to go to the men's locker room. And then Candice is walking to the women's locker room by herself when she's jumped by Bayley and Dakota Kai of Damage Control. Just those two, not Cora, because she's got the match with AJ coming up next. And Bayley starts giving her, goes, "Hi, you Candice, huh? You think you're here, huh? Why are you here? You're not scheduled to be here, babe. Come on. What are you doing here? What are you doing here?" She starts rounding her up against the wall. She goes, "Listen, did Kyrie bring you here, huh? You're going to help Kyrie win, huh? Is this all part of your devious plan, huh?" And they just keep attacking Candice. He's like, "I'll tell you what. I don't care if Kyrie's going to pick you to be in her corner. Because if you can't make it out there tonight, then you're not going to be out there with Kyrie, are you? Huh?" She continues to start hitting Candice. And I imagine, like, they grab her unconscious body and toss her into a locker room and, like, barricade the door up. And Bayley and Dakota are like, "Yeah, there we go. That'll stop Kyrie from screwing me later on tonight." And Dakota goes, "Yeah, you know, who else could Kyrie pick?" It's like, well, it could be AJ or, you know, Roxy. Bayley goes, "God damn it. Well, let's trust Cora to take care of those." So Bayley, I guess, looking to take out all women who she thinks could be Kairi Sane's enforcer tonight. Starting with the most obvious candidate being Candice LeRae. I would take an 81 for this match, actually. Considering they got a 76 and a 74 respectively. Yeah. Sure. 12 minutes and 8 seconds the match goes. And I imagine Roxy's out there with AJ, you know, supporting her wrestling mom, I guess. But Cora, in the end, probably with some sort of underhanded tactics, but I didn't deem them underhanded enough to specify in the finish, apparently. But she does win in 12 minutes and 8 seconds. Cora Jade puts AJ down. And AJ no longer able to challenge for either the SmackDown Women's title or the Liberty title. No championships at all for AJ Lee. She's effectively done with this defeat. Which then leads to, after the match, Cora standing tall laughing in AJ's face when Roxy sort of gets in her face and she goes, "Enough, okay, it's over. It's over. Look, I don't know what you've become and why you're doing this or why you've turned your backs on the woman who you looked up to for so many years, but enough is enough. You won. Cora, leave." And Cora just smiles, looking down at AJ. I imagine the scene is AJ's on the floor, like laid out, and then Roxy's like leaning over, you know, on her knees, checking on AJ, but looking up at Cora like that. And then Cora goes to turn to leave, and she boots Roxy in the face and continues to jump on her. And then when AJ begins to stir again, out from the back rush Bayley and Dakota, and they assault AJ and Roxy as well, they help. So it's a 3-on-2 beatdown of these two girls here. Bayley shouting, I go, huh? Trying to ruin our night, huh? Trying to ruin our night, huh? And then they just continue to attack them around ringside and eventually like drag them to the back. The scene then being that we cut back to, like, I imagine there'd be like an ad or something, and then we use that as a transition. Then we go to backstage where the three members of Damage Control are dragging AJ and Roxy through the backstage area, and she goes, huh? Did Kyrie send you here? Huh? Are you the one? Huh? Are you going to be the Kyrie's backup tonight to screw me? I don't think so. And they open the locker room door that they threw Candice in earlier on. And I imagine Candice is trying to fight out as well. But then they throw like Roxy into her to wipe her out again. And then all three women are trapped in the locker room. Bayley sort of barricades the door back up again. She goes, phew, it's over. First of all, Cora, good job, you know, you won. And now our night's ruined because, you know, all those three women, they're the only people Kyrie's going to pick. So, like, nobody else wants to help Kyrie, do they? And Dakota was sort of just looking around all awkwardly. And Bayley goes, what? You got something you want to say? And Dakota goes, well, I can think of one other person that she might choose. And Bayley goes, really? Who's that? She goes, no, I'm just being crazy. And Bayley goes, what? Is there something you know that we don't know, huh? Where have you been running off to these past 3 weeks anyway? Huh? Because if there's somebody that you know that could come out there and screw me tonight by being Kyrie's pick, you best find her and prevent that from happening. And Dakota goes, I don't know if that's a good idea. She seems not like herself. And Bayley goes, what's that supposed to mean? He goes, she scares me, okay? And Bayley goes, who does? And Dakota goes, you know, her. And Bayley goes, well, if she's after you, then how about you stay in there and you get her attention, and then when she comes to attack you, we'll jump her, okay? And then that'll be the last possible advocate, the last help that Kyrie will have to screw me later on tonight. But Dakota doesn't seem too keen on that. Ugh. I need to bump the Usos up. They're so fucking bad in this mod for whatever reason. Like, yeah, their inconsistency. They both are inconsistent and did shit. You know, they got 74 and a 79. It's just incorrect. So that's something I'm going to have to look at after this, because I'm getting sick of it, if I'm quite frankly. I can't pretend I'm not. But yes, it is a SmackDown Tag Team title match. The Usos against the Cyclone. Goes 16-36. And Jacob Fatu is out there ringside with his cousins after a couple of weeks of, being a bit weird. He's been losing a lot recently. And then the Usos are getting all fired up. We're seeing, brief snippets of babyface Usos here. And they go up top for the double splash. They hit the double splash on Bronson Reed. 1, 2, but I imagine Bronson Reed, still powers out. He does the big boy kick out. And then in the end, Ricochet hits the reverse Poison Rana. And then, I imagine the scene would be, one of the Usos up on what I'm calling, if you imagine the hard cam, you've got the far left, the near left, and then the far right, near right corners. That far left turnbuckle there has Ricochet and one of the Usos on. He then, Jimmy, it says, he hits the Poison Rana off the top rope onto Jimmy, and then Jimmy rolls over into position where he gets laid out with a tsunami and pinned. 1, 2, 3. The Cyclone retain against the Usos in a 78 match, because the Usos are shit in this mod. 74 for Jay, 79 for Jimmy, 88 for Bronson Reed, and 95 for Ricochet. Yeah. The Usos, I guess, we get a brief glimpse of babyface Usos here. When Jacob Fatu gets the ring and he helps his cousin stay his feet. And he goes, you did good, boys, you did good. But then Solo Sikoa just walks out onto the ramp. He's in his gear, because he is in the main event later on tonight. And he just stands there with his arms folded, shaking his head. And the Usos sort of look at him and go, what you doing, Us? Huh? What you doing, Us? What you doing out here? And then the Usos walk, towards the ropes. Jacob Fatu still stood behind them. And then he drops Jay with a super kick to the back of the head. Specifically Jay. Because Jay was the one who started all this, because he was the one who believed all that bullshit about Jacob Fatu all those months ago, and Seth Rollins started to spread it, and Jay Uso came back. And Jimmy looks at him and says, what you doing, Us? What you doing? Jacob Fatu just stares at Jimmy. He goes, Us, what you doing? And then Jacob Fatu super kicks Jimmy down as well. And then Solo runs into the ring. He grabs Jimmy, hits him with a big Samoan spike, picks up Jay, hits him with that running hip attack, whatever. And then Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Uso stand in the ring, arms folded, just looking down at the Usos on the floor. And they leave together. we then get the Cheju bus. We're in Calgary, because I needed to be in Calgary because that's where Bret Hart was as a local. So yeah. So they're taking a trip around, I guess, just the whole of Alberta, this week, after Thea Hale's loss, and them making the Cheju field trip to cheer her up, and then we finally get to them at the Hart Dungeon. And Bret Hart himself answers the door, and he goes, can I help you, kids? He goes, Mr. Hart, it is my pleasure. My name is Andre Chase, and I'm here with my students. My Chase U class, we're learning all about the sights of wrestling in here in Calgary. And we couldn't visit without stopping by the famous Hart Dungeon. And Bret goes, well, I see 5 of you here. I don't know if I've got enough room for 5 of you. I've not been myself since that piece of shit Goldberg kicked my head in and ended my career all those years ago. Goldberg. And Chase goes, I understand your frustrations, Brett, but maybe letting the next generation of wrestlers fine-tune their skills here at the famous Heart Dungeon would go a long way to me, and would make my students happy. You know, Thea Hale got completely outclassed in a championship match recently, and we're really looking to help her train and grow as a performer. And Brett goes, you know, I'm all for people training as a performer. I always just get a bunch of Bill Goldbergs running around, and nobody wants a bunch of Bill Goldbergs running around, trust me. So, I'll let you in. And then we get a montage of the Chase U training in the dungeon, with the big payoff being that there are at least a few of them, probably Thea and Andre Chase himself, and maybe Bodhi, pick up the perfect use of the sharpshooter. So, that is now in their arsenal moving forward. All thanks to Bret Hart himself. And he says, put that move to good use. And remember what I told you, the most important career advice of all. And then the 5 JC members are like, stay away from Bill Goldberg. And Bret goes, have a great day. And they leave. 83 is a very good match here, considering the individual ratings. It's the steel cage match, Big E versus Buster Gates. No Kofi, no Woods, no Nebo, no Rufus. Just two men locked inside that steel cage. And in 30 minutes and 53, as clean as, like, using the cage to your advantage can be, Buster Gates picks up the win over Big E. He hits the Rochambeau in 13:53 to score the win. Buster with a 66, 77 for Big E. And that is a very big win over a former World Heavyweight Champion for Buster Gates, who continues to rise alongside the rest of the Revolution here on SmackDown. We then go back to Dakota, and she's just pacing around like, well, she goes, okay, you can do this, okay? She's not that tough. Like, you eliminated her from the Royal Rumble, you know? You can get her, you know, just because she thinks she's going through some weird phases. I mean, she's super scary, okay? And then we hear a thump behind her, and she sort of, like, jolts and screams, goes, ah, what's that? And she goes, oh, okay, get your head in the game, okay? Whew, now where could she be? And then we see, like I imagine, there's like a dark patch behind Dakota. We see a mask that we've never seen before sort of appear out of the darkness behind Dakota and grab her and, like, drag her away. Another good match here. You know, this one probably performing on par with what I expected. Kevin Owens versus Adam Cole. Finally, one-on-one. Adam Cole out with the entire Paragon. Kevin Owens out alone. But Kev sort of accepted his fate recently, that, you know, he's been a bit of an asshole all these years, so no one's here to back him up. And why should they? But Adam Cole, he has friends. He has 3 friends, but there's 4 of them in general. So Kevin knows he's going into this 4-on-1, but he just has to keep fighting. That's what he does. He's a fighter. He ain't going to back down from a fight. Especially the way Adam Cole's been a bit of a piece of shit recently. And he tries his damn hardest. He fights for 16 minutes and 41. But in the end, Bobby Roode, with an interference, allowing Adam Cole to hit the last shot and the numbers game, take down Kevin Owens once again. He's had a bit of a rough time since coming back to WWE. He's lost, I think, every single match. He beat David Martin. And yeah, he lost to Bobby Roode, and now he's lost to Adam Cole. So he's not having a good time of things, because he's getting completely outnumbered and outmatched by the Paragon, who then once again continue a 4-on-1 beatdown of Kevin Owens. But then out from the back rushes Sami Zayn. We haven't seen Sami for fuck knows how long. Like, because he was on Raw. I remember when I traded Ilja over, I made sure to mention that there was multiple trades, because I quietly moved Sami over to SmackDown then, but Ilja isn't the only person who went to Raw. Like, that's a you can probably figure out, based on the fact that I've sent Sammy over here for this feud, who might be on their way over to Raw. I won't say it outright, but you may be able to put the pieces together. But yeah, Sammy charges out. He delivers a big Helluva kick to Adam Cole, takes him out. And then Bobby Roode storms at Sammy. Sammy hits that turnbuckle exploder on him. And then the Fritz brothers try and fight off Sammy 2-on-1. Kevin drops David Fritz with a stunner. Sammy Blue Thunder bomb to Kevin Fritz. And then Kevin and Sammy go face to face. Or not face to face, but they're on the opposite side of the ring, just looking at each other. And Sammy just sort of nods his head, rolls on another bottom ring, and then back up the ramp. Sort of the inverse of the actual... I noticed this now after, recording this after the Chamber in real life. Basically the inverse of that actual ending. Huh. 81 for this women's tag team match. The newly formed Rebellion alliance of Ruby Riott and Toni Storm, challenging Shida and Liv for the belts. 12:39. Obviously, Ruby and Liv have their history. Ruby says she's irreplaceable, but Liv Morgan is perfectly replaceable because she's got a new blonde punky best friend. And it comes down to most of the match. We'll have, Ruby fighting Shida, Liv fighting Toni. And then we finally get Liv and Ruby in the ring together. And then Ruby goes to hit that Destination Unknown, whatever it is. The Destination Unknown is the kick. What's the other move she does? That's like the Sister Abigail move. What does she call that? I can't remember. That one. She goes for that. And then Liv turns that into a cradle. 1, 2, 3. She rolls up Ruby to retain the belts. So, not exactly a decisive finish here tonight. But Liv and Shida do escape with the belts. 73 for Liv, 77 for Shida, 76 for Toni, and a 67 for Ruby. Now, here's a segment. Well, not really. It's an entrance. Wardlow's music. Who the fuck is Wardlow? Warden's music hits. And he's out. He's issuing an open challenge tonight to anybody on the SmackDown roster who wants a piece of him for his United States Championship. And he makes his way out to the ring. He stands around the ring, he takes in the crowds, and the anticipation builds as to who's going to answer his challenge. Brock Lesnar's music hits. And he comes out not dressed for a match. He's in his jeans, he's in his, denim vest, he's in his cowboy hat. And he just smiles, he walks down to the ring. And he gets in the face of Warden. And Warden, not one to back down, drops the US belt on the floor and he gets back up into the face of Brock. And they go toe to toe. When Brock scoops up Warden, he drops him with an F5. Then Brock goes to leave, but he sees Warden start stirring again. So then he goes to pick him up, he goes to hit another F5, but Warden scoops under the back. And then he grabs him in position for a powerbomb, but then Brock low blows him. Warden grabs his balls as he falls to the floor. And Brock tosses him to the outside, he clears off the announce table. And he F5s Warden through the announce table. Referees and road agents and shit try and start breaking it up, but it's Brock Lesnar and Warden, you're not going to really get in the way of them. And then Brock, he goes to leave again, but he picks up Warden one more time. A third F5, this time on the floor. And he leaves. And then the ref sort of escort Brock to the back. And Warden, he's completely fucked up on the outside of the ring. When out comes Swerve with Matt Riddle. And he goes, "Bro, what you doing, bro? Is this how you want to win this, bro? He ain't fit to compete. Save it for another day, bro. Save it for another day." And Swerve just looks at Riddle. hands him his sunglasses, and he goes, "Watch and learn how we get things done around here, boy." And Swerve rushes down to the ring. He slides into the ring. And he points to the ref. He's like, "Come on, get him in here. Get him in here." And he's like, "But, are you fucking kidding me? He ain't going to want to defend the belt after that." But Warden, he's nothing if not a maniac. He stands up. And the referees are like, "Come on." The doctor's like, "You can't compete." He shoves them to the floor. And he hobbles into the ring. And the bell rings, and we do have a United States Championship match. Swerve hits that running kick to take Warden down right away. And he then goes up top. He hits that Swerve stomp. And for the first time in his WWE career, Warden is pinned. And we have a new United States champion. Swerve pins Warden to take the belt home. Thanks to a massive assist from Brock Lesnar, who laid Warden out with like 3 F5s. It's 82 for Warden, 83 for Swerve. Yeah, the match got a 70 because it went 4 minutes, which I actually think is the cap for short matches like that. So I'm fine with it. But yeah, I knew I wanted to get the belt off Warden heading into Mania. This seemed like the best way out, because it doesn't actually... I know it does beat him, but it doesn't actually beat him straight up, which would have been a bit silly this close to WrestleMania. So there we go. That's how Warden, possibly the greatest United States champion of this entire save, that's how his reign comes to an end. And that damn Swerve was there to pick up the scraps. Hoo boy. Here's a segment. Bayley, her music hits, because it's time for the SmackDown Women's Championship match. Bayley, she's got a little bit of an extra pep in her step, because, you know, she took out all them women. Candice can't come out, Roxy can't come out, AJ can't come out. I'd actually imagine that, like, when we cut, well, during Bayley's entrance, we cut to, like, a fucking clip backstage of, we can't see who's doing it, but we just see the door handle of that locker room just, like, going crazy as someone, like someone's trying to leave. But they can't get out, obviously, because the door got barricaded up. And Bayley's obviously so laughing, and she's laughing. And then Kyrie comes out, and she makes her entrance. And then Bayley and Kyrie are in the ring, and Bayley goes, "Shush, stop." She grabs the microphone. And she goes, "What's the matter, Kyrie, huh? I thought you won the right to, you know, have an enforcer here tonight, but I don't see anyone by your side. What's the matter, huh? Could Candice not be here? Could AJ not be here? Could Roxy not be here? Could Dakota, whoever that is, you know, could she not be here? Aw, what's the matter? Anyway, I guess it's going to be a one-on-one match with no outside interference whatsoever. Shame. Anyway," and then Kyrie snatches the mic off Bayley. And Kyrie goes, "Bayley, you are too confident. Because tonight, it isn't about you. Tonight, you may have a lot of enemies, but I have even more friends." Out comes Kyrie's enforcer. The darkest hour looms. The clock has struck midnight. Io Shirai has returned to WWE. A lot of months, but not quite the full amount of months after her concussion she suffered last June. Because I am a coward. But Io is here. You know, at least she didn't make a surprise return in the Rumble. That would have been even more silly. But the match goes on. We have Io at ringside watching. Hey, they have great chemistry. That's nice. And suddenly Bayley's no longer confident. Suddenly the odds seem against her. Suddenly she's got no one. Because she can't have anyone because her friends lost that match on Friday. And Kairi, she's feeling the momentum. She hits the big spear. She hits all of her hot moves. Her probably hits the insane elbow. Gets a 2 count. Bayley kicks out. Io at ringside cheering her on. And Kairi then goes for a spear one more time, or a back fist or something. And Bayley pulls the referee in the way, and the referee gets clocked. And Kairi tries to check on the referee. But Bayley goes to ringside. She grabs the SmackDown Women's title and she goes to hit Kairi with the belt when Io slides into the ring. And she takes the belt off Bayley to stop Bayley from cheating behind the referee's back. And then Bayley gets in Io's face. What the fuck you doing, huh? Is your brain still a little bit loopy, huh? Ding dong, around here things have changed into a last here. I run this yard now, okay? And then Io looks down at the SmackDown Women's title. She looks up at Bayley. And she clocks Kairi Sane with the head with the belt. She drops the belt on the floor. And then walks to the back. And then Bayley picks up Kairi's body. Hits that rose plant on top of the belt. And the referee finally comes to. And we get the slow count. 1, 2, 3. Bayley retains. Bayley will defend the SmackDown Women's title against Candice LeRae at WrestleMania. But as for Kairi, she might have her own problems going on here. We then get an ad. I imagine that fades to an ad. And then we cut to Bayley in the back. Damage control all over this show, really. And Cora has met up with her. And she's like, oh my god, you did it. She's like, yeah, I did. Huh? Yeah, damn, I'm good, Even with her having help out there, Kairi, she needs to pick her friends better, huh? I knew, no, you would never stab me in the back like that, Cora, because you appreciate what I do for you. Then I imagine the scene is they stop outside the locker room, the one where they trapped everybody in. And and then Cora goes, oh, I want you to just pop in here and get my stuff. Bayley goes, really? Because, well, we don't know where Dakota's at, so, we don't want to just leave. I imagine the scene is they've opened the door. Bayley's looking one way, Cora's looking the other. They're both in front of the door, but no one's looking into the locker room. And we just see the door open in the background. And Dakota's there, laid out in a locker. And Candice and AJ and Roxy are just awkwardly just staring around, looking on. But Cora and Bayley aren't looking into the room, so neither of them see it. But this is just in the background as they're talking. And Bayley goes, look, okay, I trust that everything with her is going fine. Okay, but we should probably leave in case, other stuff. And Cora goes, yeah, you're probably right. We'll see Dakota on Friday. We'll let her know how it all went then. And then they leave. And then we just get a lingering shot of her laid out in the locker room. 99 rated segment. This is the big intro video, all of the Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes story from SummerSlam to War Games to the Rumble to now. And then we get Cody and Gorilla, and Kayla's there with him, and she goes, Cody, this match is supposed to be you and your brother against Seth Rollins and Solo Sikoa, but Dustin, he's not here tonight. And Cody goes, yeah. Unfortunately, because of what Seth did on SmackDown, My brother can't compete here tonight. Now you're probably thinking, Cody, surely if your brother can't compete, that means the match, it gets called off. Surely the match won't happen if not all the competitors are healthy. But that would be letting Seth Rollins win. That's what he wants to happen. And I'm nothing if not a fighter, Caleb Braxton. So Seth Rollins thinks he can tear my family apart. The spirit of my father, my wife, and my brother, the entire Rhodes legacy, lies with me going to WrestleMania and becoming the WWE champion. And if I run away from a match like this, then I'm letting all of those down. So tonight, it's just me. I'm out there all by myself. Bring on Cody, bring on Seth, bring on Solo, bring on the world, because no one in the world can stop me from going to WrestleMania. I don't care how many plans you have. Bring plan B, C, D, E, F, G, bring plan Z. Because it's all going to be the same. The American Nightmare goes to WrestleMania. The American Nightmare has your number and he becomes WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Then we hear wrestling has more than one royal family, and Cody leaves to take part in what is apparently a handicap match in our main event tonight. Not only is it a handicap match, it's a 99 rated handicap match. Cody out there, Solo Sikoa and Seth Rollins come out. He's in the other side of the ring. I imagine Seth and Cody start, and he goes, "What's the matter, Cody, huh? Where's your big bro, huh? You going out this all by yourself? You brave, you stupid man." And Cody just takes his jacket off, throws his belt into the crowd, and he goes, "Come on, bring it." And then the match begins. And goes 20 minutes 56. Cody fights the world. You know, he fights off Solo, fights off Seth. Can he get the job done all by himself? Cody cutter to Seth. Then Solo gets tagged in. He hits the Samoan spike on Cody Rhodes. 1, 2, Cody kicks out. Crowd is behind Cody. They want Cody to win the fuck out of this match. Cody fights back. He hits those bionic elbows on Solo. He hits that crossroads. Crossroads number 2. He goes for the third, but Seth super kicks him. And then he bounces off the ropes. Solo super kicks him. And Solo then Samoan spike. Cody kicks out again. Curb stomp. Cody kicks out at 1. You just can't put this man down. And then he gets all fired up. He nails a Cody cutter on Solo Sikoa. I imagine Solo like rolls, tags in Seth Rollins on the apron. And then Cody, he's all fired up. He gets to his feet, but he just slowly collapses, you know, out of exhaustion. And Seth, he looks down at Cody. The scene's like Cody's grabbing his tights, like he's trying to pull himself up. And Seth he grabs him. He like screams in his face. He goes, "I told you to stay home, Cody, huh? You shouldn't have come out here. This." He points to WrestleMania and he goes, "That's out of your hands, and it's all your fault for coming out here, you stupid man." Slaps him in the face. Seth then backs up into the corner for a curb stomp. Out comes the tribal chief. He slowly walks down the ring. Seth's distracted. He just calmly just walks down, stops at the bottom of the ramp, walks up the steps, stands in Cody's corner, and extends his hand. Seth, he's like, "What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?" And Cody, he's also very confused. But you know, he's very fucked up. So he makes the tag. And then Roman enters the ring. Seth, he can't tag in Solo. Solo's still down on the outside. He tries to run away, but Roman quickly just rushes in, locks him in that guillotine. And then Seth Rollins passes out. Roman and Cody win. 99 rated match. 70 for Solo, 93 for Seth, 88 for Cody, and 97 for Roman Reigns. So, of all people to come to the aid of the American Nightmare here tonight, the Tribal Chief stood up. And then we get the end. Cody crawls back into the ring. He sort of stands in the corner, looking at Roman. Roman sort of looks back at Cody. Roman, he walks up to Cody, gets in Cody's face, and he just holds up one finger. And he goes, "Now we're even, Nightmare." And then he leaves. Cody he just watches Roman leave. He's still so confused. I imagine this entire time Rollins is just laid out on the floor. WWE title probably sprayed on his body. And the final scene of the night is the shot of Cody looking at Roman up on the ramp with the camera pointing at the ring, the Mania sign hanging, Seth down on the floor, Cody looking up at the ramp confused. And then we pan across to Roman, just he's about to leave, turns his head around, look back at the ring. And that's the show. 96 rated show. I'm feeling the WrestleMania spirit right now, lads, if I do say so myself. A lot of shit went down tonight. And a lot of the road to WrestleMania seems an awful... It was a little bit foggy heading into tonight. But a lot of it seems very clear after tonight. But it is still going to be a wild 6 weeks. And we have sort of that special Raw Elimination Chamber, but you have no more pay-per-views until Mania. So, for those of you who only watch the pay-per-views, and I know that is a good chunk of you, I'll see you at WrestleMania. But for the rest of you, we've got a long 6 weeks ahead of us. That's 12 episodes. We're in for a wild ride, and I hope to see you along every step of the way. Starting with next week, and Raw, which will be episode number 340. See you then.